I still remember that day like it was yesterday. The manager's office felt colder than usual when he said, "We're letting you go." No warning, no explanation beyond vague words like restructuring. I packed my things in silence, every photo frame, every sticky note, every shred of dignity into a cardboard box. But what stung the most wasn't the job, it was them. The coworkers who pretended to be my friends. The ones who smiled at me just yesterday. Today, they wore smirks. One leaned toward another and whispered, "Guess silence doesn't pay." They all laughed. I was the joke. I wasn't flashy. I didn't gossip. I didn't join their after-work drinks or lunchtime cliques. I just worked, quietly, focused. And that made me easy to ignore and easy to mock. But what they didn't know was that I'd been working on something else, too. At night, while they were out, I was grinding, sketching out ideas, learning code, watching tutorials, pitching my idea to anyone who would listen. That idea, the one they laughed at during a team brainstorming session and dismissed as unrealistic, it became my obsession. The first year was brutal. Sleepless nights, zero income, maxed out cards, more rejections than I could count. Investors said I lacked experience. Partners backed out. Even friends told me to be realistic. But I kept going, because I remembered their laughter, their smirks. And 2 years later, after building, failing, pivoting, and scaling, it happened. My startup got acquired. I got funded. We expanded fast. And guess who we bought next? Their company. That same office. That same manager's chair. That same hallway where I once walked out with a cardboard box. I walked back in, but not as an employee, as their new CEO. The laughter stopped. Their smirks disappeared. One of them approached me hesitantly and asked, "How did you do it?" I smiled, calm, poised, proud, and said, "Silence pays." After I became their CEO, the office was never the same again. The people who once whispered behind my back now waited for me to speak. The ones who laughed at my ideas, now they scribbled down every word I said in meetings like it was gospel. But here's the truth. I didn't come back for revenge. I came back to build something better. I called a full staff meeting. They expected punishment, demotions, maybe layoffs. Instead, I said, "We're not here to shame the past. We're here to shape the future." But let me be clear, mediocrity has no place here. Some couldn't handle it. The very ones who once mocked me, they quietly resigned. But others stayed and worked harder than ever. And then something unexpected happened. A message popped into my inbox. It was from my old manager, the one who fired me. He'd been laid off. Now he wanted a job at my company. I sat with his resume for a long time. I remembered every word he said, every smirk, every cold dismissal. But I also remembered the day I got fired. How crushed I felt, how broken. So I called him in. He sat across from me, nervous. I looked him in the eye and said, "You taught me something valuable. How not to treat people. You won't work for me. But if you're willing to learn, you can work with me as a consultant." He blinked, stunned, speechless. I didn't do it for him. I did it for the younger version of me, the one walking out with a cardboard box, wondering if he'd ever be good enough. I am. Because success, it isn't just about proving people wrong. It's about becoming the kind of person you needed when no one believed in you. It's funny how life turns. I didn't set out to be their boss. I didn't dream of power or payback. I just wanted a chance to prove that my ideas weren't foolish, that my voice deserved to be heard. And now, I sit at the head of the same boardroom they once kicked me out of. But the real shift wasn't just in titles. It was in how I lead. Because I remember the silence, the feeling of being invisible, the smirks, the whispers, the coldness of being dismissed like I didn't matter. So, I built a culture where every voice matters, where new ideas aren't mocked but tested, where no one is laughed out of the room for daring to dream. And guess what happened? Productivity soared. Innovation exploded. People stayed late not out of fear, but because they believed. Then one day, I walked into the break room and froze. There they were, the same 3 coworkers who once laughed the loudest, sitting quietly, heads down, not because I humiliated them, but because they finally saw what I had seen all along: possibility. One of them approached me after a team strategy session. He said, "I know I was wrong about you. I see it now and I'm sorry." And you know what? I didn't rub it in. I didn't say, told you so. I just smiled and said, we all grow. The difference is I didn't wait for permission. That's the part people don't talk about. Success isn't about revenge. It's about evolution. It's about showing up for yourself when no one else does. It's about walking alone until people have to listen. Today, the company I built is bigger than I ever imagined. And the people who once doubted me, they come to me with ideas, with respect, with hope. Because leadership isn't about proving people wrong. It's about becoming someone so right for the role that even your past critics trust your future. Thanks for watching. Please like and hit the subscribe button.